Alright, so when you get started, you want to first look at your drawing and make sure it makes sense. You want to make sure that the proportions are right, that there's a foreground, there's a middle ground, there's a background, and that the perspective makes sense. You want to also make sure that the horizon line is visible and that all things kind of end at the horizon line or are positioned on top of the horizon line. After you've done that, you go in with the colors. You want to make sure you're choosing colors that make sense to your drawing. So green grass, but also you want to make sure that if they're next to each other, so if I had green grass and I was going to do green mountains, they wouldn't really make sense. It would just look like really large pointy grass. So you want to, when there are two things next to each other, you want to differentiate the colors. So you want different colors within it. So I've done that. We're ready to get started here, or I didn't do it, someone else did. We're going to go in and we're going to start adding the collage once you're done. The collage is going to be added onto the cardstock. So what you're going to do, you're going to take this and copy it and put it on here and take away those elements if they're too small, like little people or little cars or little elements. You might want to get rid of those. For instance, maybe the windows or the garage and like the little elements in there might not be seen in this final thing because we're going to be using collage to make the colors and the shapes. So you're going to go in and you're going to simplify it even more, and you're going to go in with the colors with crayon or with colored pencil. Once you're done with that, then it's time to collage. We're going to go through magazines to look for our collage. I've picked up this magazine here and I found some sky blue. When you're ready to collage, you always want to start with the back first. So I'm going to be starting with the blue first. The reason why is because you do the back first and then you can overlap on top of it the next section. So I do the mountains next, and then the grass, then the house, then the road. Because if you start with the elements that are in the foreground, it wouldn't make sense because it doesn't look like it's overlapped. It would be the opposite. So always start with the background first and then end with the foreground. So when you get started, you want to make sure that you are finding the pieces that are necessary. So I'm only going to be working on blue today. So I'm going to take the blue sections and I'm going to tear them into small little pieces, and that will help me with the long run of this assignment. So I'm going to go in and start tearing these up into small pieces here. And then once I have them nice and small here, and they're all about the same value, you don't want to choose a bunch of different blues because the sky isn't going to be really dark blue and a light blue. I want to stick with one kind of hue of blue. So I'm going to stick with this nice light blue. Once you're ready, you can go in and you can add the glue to the back. And then you're going to stick that on to your paper here. And you don't want to go over the edges. You want to make sure you stay on the line. So I'm going to go only on that blue section. Once you've done that, you're going to take a little bit of glue and you're going to put it on top. And you're going to rub it in with your finger. Alright? And then that is going to make it stay there. Alright. Then you're going to go in and you're going to keep doing that. You're going to put in more blue, overlap them, and finish up the blue. Once the blue is done, then you can work on the yellow, you can work on the mountains, and then the foreground once the background is done. Or the middle ground, and then the foreground. Make sure you're only working on one color at a time. That'll help you out. Make sure that they're small pieces. That's going to help. And then also make sure that no white shines through. You don't want to see any of the white shining through. All right, you have fun. Bye-bye.